palm reading of a 40-year-old woman. We'll be reading her hand. Before we start the video, request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can call me or you can email me. These are the phone number and the email mentioned out here. Now we are taking a look at the right hand of the female. See, it's generally thought that we should only look at the left hand and not the right hand. But in my case, what I do is I do take a look at both the hands to come to the final conclusion. Normally, a woman who is working, we should take a look at the right hand. But it's not that we can ignore the left hand. We have to take into account both the hands to come to the final conclusion. Now, in her hand, what is unique is that it's different from the other normal people's hand. When we say different, we find that this is the line of life. I'm just going to increase the this is the lifeline. This is the lifeline. So it's a little bit unclear which one is the lifeline. And if we take a look at the left hand, you notice again one more thing, that if this is the lifeline, it is like broken up in pieces, but there's also a overlapping line, something like this. So whenever there are two overlapping lines, it is considered to be a very good sign. We would consider one line to be the lifeline and the other line to be the line of Mars. If a person has got a Mars negative line, this particular line that I've just drawn, it is considered to be in the hands of a fighting spirit. Normally, if there's any negative signs that a person does have on his palm, they get basically nullified. But at the same time, because the line is quite delicate, it's like broken up in pieces, so this is not generally considered to be a good sign regarding health point of view. But this overlapping line is reasonably okay, but this too has got few break-like formations. You notice there's a break-like formation out here, so break-like formations are considered to be negative sign. The second aspect that is different in her hand is that the headline, this is the headline, and this headline is originating somewhere inside the mount of Mars. So this is again not seen in general people's hand. What is normal is something like what normal people have. They have got a lifeline and they've got a headline, something like this, or they just might have a gap between both these lines. But in this case, what's happening is it is originating inside the line of life, so on the mount of Mars. So Mars is a red planet. Red means anger, aggression and fire. So the person could be having these particular qualities in her life. Apart from that, you would also notice these island-like formations on the lifeline in the earlier portion, and somewhere at the intersection of the money and the headline, the age is 35. This intersection is age 35. Just before this intersection, you would notice that there's an upward kind of a line pointing towards the mount of Jupiter. Mount of Jupiter is a big planet. It is for expansion, growth, honor in one's life. And if a headline moves towards the mount of Jupiter or angles towards the mount of Jupiter, it is considered to be good. So if this point is age 35, so it's this particular event is taking place before the age of 35 and somewhere close to the age of 30, 32, 33. That's the approximate age. So it is considered because the latter portion of one's headline, you would notice somewhere close to after the age of 35, you would notice that this is the headline and there are few upward kind of swinging kind of lines moving upward towards the finger side. So any line moving towards a finger is always considered to be good. It basically brings in success, it brings in some excitement in life, or it brings in something that is positive that is happening in one's life. So the portion of life after the age of 35, you would notice many of these lines moving upward towards the area of Mercury. This is the area of Mercury. The upward swing is moving towards the mount of Mercury. So Mercury is the planet for skill and calculations and communication, and headline moving towards this particular area book basically says that the person could be a writer, writing skills, but I would say that it has to do something or the other with some benefit coming out of a person gaining a set of skill, or some positive things happening in one's life. So this portion of life that I've just indicated is after the age of 35, and the lady is right now approximately 40 years old. So this portion could be also said to be a positive area. Now if we take a look at the heartline, now the heartline plays a very major role in one's life, and apart from what general perception is that the heartline would tell regarding our relationship, it would also tell it can also tell about other aspects of our life as well. So you would notice on the heartline has got few island-like formations out here. Island-like formations is generally not considered to be good, and specifically under the ring finger, it can bring about heart or eye related issues. This could be one of the possible things. Island could also mean elongated periods of emotional stress. Then this is what the left hand is showing. If we take a look at the right hand, similar kind of indications can be seen. We are just zooming in and we would find that this island-like formation is out here, then island again. Then apart from this, this is the line of heart, and there are branches also hanging downward towards the headline. So hanging branches are considered to be a negative sign. What it brings in, that attachments bringing in expectations are not fulfilled. That's the reason why disappointments may creep in. So this is just another possibility. So coming back to the headline, again on the right hand, we have already talked about the headline in the left hand. So now we take a look at the right hand. So headline, you would again notice these many lines. These are many lines kind of originating on the Mount of Mars and kind of joining into the headline. So these are all negative. I would say that this is negative, anger and aggression being there. Apart from that, it appears that the headline comes out here and then it moves a little bit upward, and then there's a dual kind of a headline somewhere from the age of this intersection of the money and the headline is age 35. So somewhere from the age of approximately 30 to 35, there's a double headline kind of a formation. Double headline brings in two thought processes. So it's better to have a single headline instead of having multiple headlines, and it's kind of a forming island-like formation is getting formed out here. Island-like formation specifically under the finger of Saturn. Saturn is for money, possessions and wealth, and an island under it basically signifies maybe depressive tendencies. I'm not very sure about that, but probably depressive kind of tendencies. But at the same time, it could also mean few other things as well. It could mean stomach related issues, because when the person is going to be really angry in the head, what's going to happen is that it's going to disturb their stomach, and disturb stomach would bring anger in that particular person's case. So she did ask about the health of her father, and what happens is that we are going to be answering this particular question in an indirect way. See, the indirect way is that if we find that the heartline is not so clear, and it has got few minor disturbances, so what happens is that even a small emotional issue or something related to near and dear ones, they may feel the pain much more deeply, and they would easily get emotionally disturbed very easily. Same thing applies with the headline. If the headline is a little bit disturbed, same things might apply. So this is what is represented by I can say that probably she's feeling that pain much more than other people that might feel for the same thing. Regarding the career point of view, you would notice that there's a backward line kind of a formation from the lifeline moving towards the mount of Jupiter. This is considered to be good. It means honor and position, although the lines that you see out here, they are a little bit dim kind, very dim and dull. Dim and dull lines, basically what it signifies is that probably the intensity of whatever I have spoken, like high position and honor, they would come somewhere like middle kind. Regarding the sunline, you would notice that the sunline is quite weak out here. Weak sunline signifies that there might be doubts and self-doubt basically destroys everything. So my suggestion to her would be to remove all the self-doubts, whatever there are. It's not that every person needs to have a strong sunline, only then the career is going to be good. In spite of having a weak sunline, you would notice that the sunline is quite weak. I'm just going to draw over out here, like this kind of a weak kind of a sunline is there. So weak sunlines bring in doubts, and the person is not able to energize their work as much as they should be doing. So it's I try to correlate a weak sunline to something like deep clouds in the sky, and when there are deep clouds in the sky, the energies that the earth is giving to the earth doesn't receive. So the plants on the earth are not going to grow that much faster. As far as on the right hand, I'm just drawing a line of sun which is not there. Let's draw this thing, and I'm just marking the age. This is the headline, this is the heartline. So this intersection is age 35. This portion is before the age of 35. This portion is 35 to 53. This intersection is 53, and this portion is after the age of 53. So you would notice that the line is quite missing. There might be appearing a small kind of a line, but it's generally missing, and it's only after the heartline and below the finger you would notice that the sunline is appearing, so after the age of 53. But even these lines are quite dim, and there's not one line but multiple 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So it's not that if there are 10 lines the person would have 10 different careers, but it's better to have a single line instead of having multiple lines. So single line, a person is able to give intensity to their work, but with multiple lines the person would be wanting to do too many things. Same applies if we take a look at the heartline. The branches on the heartline, these branches, what they do is that the person is getting distracted. So my suggestion would be to remain committed, not get distracted. That's when things become better. Now if we take a look at the money line, so the money line starts somewhere at this point, and this age is approximately around the age of 30. Somewhere close to the age of 35 things change, and the course of line changes a little bit, and this point is age 53 when it touches the heartline. So just before it touches the heartline, somewhere close to, if this is 53, so somewhere close to the age of 40, 849, the line vanishes and new line basically develop. So from 49 to 53 there could be some destability, then again there are one line, two line. So these are multiple lines out here. So multiple lines, if seen under the Saturn finger, they are reasonably okay, because the intensity of the line is still much more clear. So the resources are going to be there, good resources. And the good part is that the line of money, the line of fate, is straight away kind of angling towards the apex of the mount. This is the apex of the mount, the center of the finger. If we consider the money line from the age of 35 to 53, this is the line, but this is not angling towards the Saturn mount. It is kind of angling somewhere further, somewhere between the first and the second finger. So the money line, when they angle more towards the finger, then the possibility for money possibility increases. So after the age of 53 things might become even better. So this is what I can say. The heartline is ending somewhere close to, somewhere near to the mount of Saturn. So a heartline that ends somewhere close to the mount of Saturn, the person angled towards the money, the person is responsible, and the person is also wise, and they can manage money well. Coming back to the Mercury area, On the Mercury and on the right hand, we can see things much more clearly compared to the left hand, because probably the person has sent the image in a different way. I don't see these perpendicular lines. I can't really see it, but on the right hand we do find that there are few perpendicular, 1 2 3 4 5 6. These perpendicular lines are one of the best kind of lines that a person can have on their palm. Perpendicular lines on the mount of Mercury, it basically signifies many different set of skills. Book basically says if a person has got multiple parallel lines on the mount of Mercury, it represents that the person could be a doctor or a healer, one of these. But in my practical experience, I have found that the person need not be a healer or a doctor, but multiple set of skills the person can have. If the lines were a little bit more deeper, it would mean that the person is sharpening their skills even further. If the lines are a little bit weak, it means that the person needs to sharpen their skills even further. So it's not that you need to have 5-6 lines only, then the person is going to be successful. Or so even in spite of a person may not have even a single line, even that is considered to be good. The person may have just one line and good line deep end, that is excellent. But having weaker lines means they need to sharpen their skills even further. That's what I would say. As far as the health goes, I would just advise her that be cautious regarding your health. In this this is the right hand. You would notice that the lines are a little bit unclear, very unclear, and it's difficult to differentiate between the lifeline and the line of Mars. So this is what I'm drawing, and even these are a little bit inconsistent. It's the lifeline is coming here, then again it's moving, so this is not so clear. In the left hand, it is there's a confusion which line to consider as the lifeline. If we consider this line to be the lifeline, it's a very weak kind of a line, and it has got few branches pointing downwards towards the mount of Moon. So branches on the lifeline pointing towards the mount of Moon means getting restless, and restlessness creeping in, and wherever the person may go, the person may feel that restless feeling. The person may travel or go anywhere, but that feeling is going to remain consistently. The second way of looking at this particular line is that let's consider this line to be the main lifeline, and this is again a supporting lifeline. So what happens is that if this is the lifeline, so because it's making a bigger semicircle means more area coming to the Mars and more area coming to the mount of Venus. So it's a very positive sign, because Venus is all about energies and Mars is all about fire. So both these things coming in abundance to this particular person. So overlapping lifeline is considered to be good. The third thing which I have not talked about, consider only this line to be the lifeline and the second line to be the line of head. This is also the headline and this is also the headline. So although there's a very remote case that this line that I'm indicating as the headline could be the headline, it is more likely that it is the lifeline. I'm just going to ask the question to this particular person after I complete this video. If she has got extreme imagination, only then we would consider this particular line to be the line of head, because a headline that moves towards the mount of Moon brings in extreme imagination to the point of madness. But this is more like a headline and not necessarily this is more like a lifeline, not necessarily the headline. So I would just end my video out here, and before I end my video, I would just repeat few things that I repeat in almost every video. That is, we can come to know about money, possession and wealth from almost any portion of our hand. It could be our heart line, our head line, or any other planet. The money line importance is just 15% in terms of how much money we are going to be making in our life. And a saint once said, you don't need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company, because good company can take you out of all the problems, and bad company would, like, even if you have got the best sign, nothing is going to come good your way if the company is not good. Thanks for watching this video. Bye and take care, and please do ask your questions down below in the comment section. I would be happy to answer you. And this hand was a little bit different. Thanks, bye and take care.